This video is going to show you how to solve and graph inequalities, and we're going to look at number lines as well. The first thing I want you to do is take a look at the equation or the inequality, and if the variable has a positive number, that means we are just going to solve the problem and leave everything just like it is. Okay, so here's some examples. This first one says 7x, which means that x was positive, so I would keep this sign the same. Okay, the second example, it says plus 4x, so that's good to go. We're going to keep this sign the same. 2x is a positive number, so this symbol will stay the same. 9x is a positive, so this symbol will stay the same. So in all of these instances, your inequality symbol stays the same because the variable had a positive number. Now let's look at the opposite situation. Now we're going to look at what happens if the variable has a negative number. If this happens, you will flip the inequality sign. It's going to go the opposite direction. Okay, flip your inequality sign so that it goes the opposite direction if you have a negative variable. So here are those examples. Negative 3x. This sign is now going to go the opposite direction. When I solve it, I need to flip it the other direction. Okay, because the variable was negative, I need to flip this sign. So the next one had, I need to be back on my highlighter. Negative 5y. So I need to flip this sign and make it go the other direction. When I say my final answer, it's going to get flipped. On the bottom row, that says minus 2x or negative 2x. So this symbol is going to get flipped the other direction. And the last one, when you look at it, this says negative x or negative 1x. So that means I would end up flipping that symbol the other direction when I get ready to say my answer. Okay, so now we're going to work two examples. We are going to first identify if the variable, I need my highlighter again. Okay, 6m. So this is positive. Okay, so we keep the sign the same. So I just solved my question the way that it's set up. I'm going to draw my line down. Since it's going to stay the same, I'm already knowing that it's going to say m is less than, and now I'm about to find out the number. We are going to get rid of this constant number. I want to isolate the variable of 6m and leave it all by itself. So negative 7, the opposite of that is positive 7. Whatever I do to one side, I need to do to the opposite, just like in fractions with our numerators and denominators. I'm going to bring down the 6m. The negative 7 and the positive 7, these cancel each other out. My sign, remember, is going to stay the same. And then I have 41 plus 7, that's going to be 48. Okay, last step, this is where I'm looking at 6m. Something times 6 is less than 48. So my very last step is divide by the number that's with your variable. Okay, and because I'm dividing by a positive number, because the number with the variable is positive, I keep this sign the same. If you're not sure what the answer is, then you would make a division problem. 6 divides into 48 8 times. You could check your multiplication chart if you weren't sure. Okay, so now I'm ready to graph this. I'm going to do an open circle. On 8, and then I'm going to shade, because that's a less than, I'm going to shade to the left. So open circle on 8, and then I can get a big highlighter or something and shade everything to the left, and then put an arrow at the end. The second example, again, I'm going to first look at the variable. It says negative 3t. So because this is a negative variable that I'm going to end up dividing by, that means I need to flip the inequality sign or symbol when I get ready to solve. So I'm going to draw my line down, but this used to be a greater than sign, and I know now I'm going to be dividing by a negative number, so when I do that, I need to flip my symbol. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and come over here and say t, switch, t. Instead of it being greater than, I have to flip the sign, so it's going to be less than, and then I need to work out the question to figure out what the number is. Again, I want to keep the variable by itself and get rid of the constant. So the opposite of positive 9 is negative 9. I'm going to write negative 9 on both sides, because whatever I do to the left side, I have to do to the right side to keep it equal. I can bring down my negative 3t. I'm flipping the sign, remember, because I divided by, I'm going to divide by a negative. And then negative 21 and negative 9. These are on the same team, so I'm going to add them together. 21 and 9 makes 30, and they are both negative, so it's going to stay negative. My last step here is divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. If you're unsure of what that is, you could set up a division problem. 3 goes into 30 10 times. Both of these numbers are already negative. That means my answer has to be positive. So it's going to be positive 10. And then again, it's going to be an open circle because there's no equal to sign. Sometimes you do need to shade in your circle if it happened to have the equal to sign. So I have an open circle on 10. And this example also is going to be shade to the left because it's less than. Open circle on 10, shade everything to the left. Here's a couple examples just showing you how to work out the problem. Again, we could look and see that 3x is positive. That means I'm going to keep my sign the same. Right here, the sign stayed the same. Keep that sign. But when you look at your second example, over here, this 2x has a subtract or a negative sign in front of it. So on this one, when I get down to the bottom, because that was a negative, I had to flip the sign and make it go the opposite direction. And now it's going to be greater than instead of less than. And they shaded in the circle. You can notice this one had the equal to sign under it, so they shaded the circle. This one did not have the equal to sign, so they left it open.